Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video we are doing another episode of What You Working On Wednesday. Yes, now before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button, and also turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into what I'm working on this Wednesday. Now, before we get started, let me go ahead and give you the table of content because there's a lot of information in this video. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and tell you what I worked on this weekend, followed by what I will be working on this upcoming week. I'm also going to give a thanks shout out. I'm also going to do my October sewing plans, and then I'll close with some patterns that I picked up last month in the month of September for sewing month, September sewing month, from Something Delightful, which is McCalls, Butterick, Vogue, and Quick Sew patterns. So let's go ahead and get right on into what I sewed this week. All right, so if you remember from my last What You Working On Wednesday, you guys noticed that I sewed a top, I worked on a top, I sewed a bomber jacket, and I sewed some pants. So Sunday, I posted some photos, which I'll post here as well. It was a collaboration with the lovely Creativity by T, that her name is Talisha. We collaborated on a bomber jacket as well. Well, the collaboration was a bomber jacket. So I styled my bomber jacket two ways. I styled it with some jeans as well as with some trousers. So the pattern that I used was Simplicity 8418, and you can also look up and see that review as well. And for the pants, I used Simplicity 9268. In that video, I'll give all the details at the end of the month with, you know, what I loved, because it really wasn't anything that I did not like, because I mentioned that in the pattern review, but I'll give all the detail in the jazz at the end of the month when I do my October makes video, okay? So that's what I worked on this week. Another thing that I worked on this week was New Look 6374. I'm not showing that right now simply because it's not completely done. I'm still currently working on it. So if you watched my stories yesterday on Instagram, you will know that I posted the fabric and the pattern yesterday because I was able to get it cut out and I started sewing it, but it's not completely done yet. So I'm hoping to have that done today or tomorrow, Thursday, and post it by Friday if I'm able to get some nice lovely sun and able to get the photos done quickly. So I'll post it Friday. If not, it'll be next week or this weekend. So that's one of the things that I worked on. So now that I talked about what I worked on this week, let me go ahead and get started with what's coming up this upcoming week. So this upcoming week, I want to do a shirt, and that will be the next top in the fall top series. And this is top series part 5. That shirt, I want to use McCalls 7629. And I'll also put the pattern up here as well. But I know that McCalls reissued this pattern, and the new number, I believe, is McCalls 8067. I'll also put the pattern up as well for the new number. So if you're using the old pattern, which is what I'm going to use because it's out of print, it's 7629, and then the new number I'm gonna put up, I believe it's McCalls 8067. So if you have the new pattern, get it out. The instructions are exactly the same. So get it out and you'll be able to sew this up, okay? So this is McCalls 7629. It's one of the things I wanna work on this week. Also, I want to work on something else this week. I think I wanna make a 2-piece set. If I have time to do so, I will do so. But I'm not sure if I'll have the time, but that's one of the things that I definitely want to make is the top. Now I do have some fabric that I want to use, which I will show you in the October sewing plans here coming up shortly. All right, so now that I talked about what is coming up this upcoming week, let me go ahead and tell you about the thanks. So I want to thank each and every one of you because I have reached 1,000 subscribers. Yes. All right, so listen, when I originally started doing YouTube, first thought about doing YouTube, I had so much anxiety simply because I am not a person who normally, shares a lot about myself, but it made me get out of my, basically go past my comfort zone. I have shared so much on this channel, content-wise, of course. I have shared my daughter, my son, my husband. He's not into the whole putting him on camera, but I have been talking to see if he will do a video with me sometime this year. I hope he does. We will see. I'm still basically putting a puppy dog face on with him for that. Another thing is tutorials. So the reason why I got on YouTube, and this is, 1,000 subscribers, thank you. The reason why I got on YouTube is simply because I do have 4 Facebook groups. I have a seasonal wardrobe, a sew traveling, one suitcase channel. I have the We Sew, and then I have the business wardrobe. Each one is different. So in the Facebook group We Sew, it's We Sew, many different fabrics, many different things in that. And that's where I do all my series. So all the series is basically posted there. My top series, my skirt series, both of those series were posted there in We Sew. The business wardrobe will stay the business wardrobe, where we are creating just business attire. Now, one thing I do is I post all my makes to all the groups so you guys can see exactly what I am creating, because I know some people are part of the business wardrobe and not part of the We Sew. So it just gives me a chance to show you guys what I am making and post to all 4 groups instead of just one. So that's the business wardrobe. And then I also have the sew traveling one, and that's basically sewing items throughout the year, and all these items is put into one suitcase. It's kind of like if you were traveling, you would only travel with one suitcase. So items that you would travel with using one suitcase. That's the whole message behind that group on Facebook as well. And the last group that we have, so we have the We Sew, we have the Sew Traveling, we have the business, and then we have the one suitcase. So those are all the 4 groups that I have on Facebook. When I originally started these Facebook groups, I want to say about 4 years ago, I think I started in 2017. It was kind of by accident, because it was just a few of us in there, and I want to say about 20 people, and then they told someone who told someone who told their mama, and everybody just started joining, which was amazing, by the way. And it became one of those groups where I had to ask for moderators to help manage the group, which they are amazing as well. My moderators, you know who you are. Thank you so much to you guys as well. I'm always looking for more moderators as the group gets bigger. So if you want to become a moderator of one of the groups, that's basically checking to make sure that they could come in, accepting requests and things of that sort. Let me know, and we'll see if we can make you a moderator as well. Everyone can't be a moderator, but yeah, see if you would like to be a moderator. Please let me know and send me a message on Facebook. And also with that was in 2017, when I started the groups, there was so many, I'm not gonna call out any names, but there were 2 individuals who are still in the group today and still, have been supporting the group since day one, that have said, Rochelle, I think you need to be on YouTube doing tutorials, because Facebook does not allow you but so much time to do a tutorial. So it was hard for me to explain via typing it instead of actually recording it. So I waited pretty much 3-4 years before I decided, like, hey, I'm gonna get on YouTube and try to do a tutorial and see if this helped those in the group who's been wanting me to do tutorials forever and a day. And it's been helping once again, but like I said, I started YouTube by accident. It wasn't something that I just wanted to do. I literally sat on it for so many years until I had enough courage to get on YouTube, show my face. It's not necessarily showing my face, but basically talking and recording at the same time, because what you see me do in a tutorial is what I'm actually talking at the same time. It is not a voiceover or any of that jazz. When I do these tutorials and videos, it's me talking at the same time the video is going, and I am actually sewing the same time that I am talking. All right. So now that I talked about the thanks, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I have reached over 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Now that I talked about my thanks, let's go ahead and get into my October sewing plan. So let's go ahead and head right on to the sewing table. All right, so let's go ahead and get into my October 2021 sewing makes. So the first thing that I plan on making, which I plan on finishing up my my top series for the fall top series. And that first, well, it's going to be the second top as part of that fall top series. I'm utilizing this plaid. Now, I like blue, which you guys know that from my September makes. It was a lot of blue going on in that. So what I'm planning on doing is doing that second top as part of the fall series for the top series, which is the 5th series this year. And this is the yoke top utilizing New Look 6374. This is the plaid that I want to use in order to create that top, and I'm going to bring it a little closer so you're able to see the pattern, and I'll also could put the pattern up on the screen for you. I plan on doing view A on the pattern, and yeah, that's one of the first things that I want to do. This pattern is a older pattern, so if you want to use a different pattern for your yoke top, you can if you decide to do one, but this is New Look 6374. The next thing that I want to sew in the month of October 2021 is use this fun Toy Story fabric that I purchased back in 2019. I purchased it when I was doing a Disney vacation. We were doing a Disney vacation for 2020, but COVID hit and this was still left in my stash. So I just wanted to go ahead and pull out some stash fabric and create some stuff with it. So what I'm doing is that third top as part of the fall series for the top series. And this is the shirt. So the shirt is any shirt that you decide that you want to use. Now I am using the old pattern. This has been reissued by McCalls. So I will be using McCalls 7629. The new pattern is McCalls 8067. So if you have that pattern, it is the same pattern as McCalls 7629. So this is the second thing I want to sew. Now I believe I purchased 9 to 10 yards of this fabric because I had another idea to do with this pattern. I'm sorry, this fabric. So I want to use another pattern. It's Butterick 6677, and I want to do view C on this. However, instead of making all the tiers, I want to just do the bodice in that first tier and use the tie belt. I don't think I'll have enough fabric for the last tier on view C, and that's the one that I want to do on this pattern. But yeah, I'm planning on doing both patterns. It's McCall 7629 and Butterick 6677. I know Brittany J. Jones have a tutorial on YouTube for Butterick 6677. I may and may not use it. It depends on if I want to be lazy or not, if I want to turn on the TV or just have some silence while I'm sewing. I don't know yet. But this is the second and third thing that I want to sew this month in the month of October. The next thing that I want to sew this month is, I think I'm between two fabrics for this. So I have this green fabric that I purchased from Joann's. This fabric is a quilted showcase fabric that I purchased for like $2.99 a yard, I think. Now this was supposed to be used back in the springtime for the V-neck top, I think is what it was. Butterick 6731. I was going to use this, but I changed my mind and used the stripe fabric, a multicolor stripe fabric. But I want to create that fourth top as part of the fall series. And this top is the square neck top. This is one of the newer patterns that came out in spring summer 2021, which is the McCalls pattern. It is a square neck top where you have a square around your neck. I plan on doing view C. Now I'm between two fabrics, and the reason why is because I like this green. So that's one of the, it's a plan to do the green. However, like I said, I've been going through my fabric stash, pulling out fabric from my stash, and I also have some leftover Ankara print in this red fabric because I created a dress. I self-drafted a dress and had some left, so I'm pulling it out, but I'm torn between these two fabrics for the square neck top. So if it was you, which fabric would you use in order to create the square neck top? Leave it in the comment below. I'm just curious to see if you would want me to use the green or this red Ankara print. Leave it in the comments below on which one you would like to see me use for the square neck top. The next thing that I want to sew in the month of October 2021 for my sewing plans, you guys have seen these in the last 2 months. So this month I did some build out for this jacket, and I am going to start sewing it. Now I was going to originally use Simplicity 2446, but decided not to use Simplicity 2446. So I'm just gonna put this back in my pattern drawer, and I am going to use Simplicity 8844 for this jacket that I want to make. So what I'm going to do is use tweed. I have some tweed here that I want to use for this jacket, blazer, whatever you want to call it, utilizing Simplicity 8844. And then if you've seen from my September sewing plans, which you can look up and see that, I want to use this pink. I want to use this pink fabric in order to, use as my lining. I think that would be so cute. But this is another plan that I plan on making. It's the fall, so I want to make some coats and jackets for the fall winter time. So that's one of the plans that I want to make for this month. And the last thing that I want to sew for the month of October 2021 is this pattern right here, which if you looked at my sewing, no, I think it was my pattern collections, what I picked up from Joann's, Simplicity patterns that I picked up from Joann's. And then you would notice that I picked up this Cruella Duville pattern for the jacket, and I said I wanted to sew this and I was looking for some fabric. This is Simplicity 9342. This came out summer 2021. So I'm going to use this as the main fabric shell, and then I have some maroon burgundy, I guess you could call it, lining fabric that I'm going to use. I'm sorry, the contrast fabric around the facing and the hemband. I'm going to use that for that, and then I'm going to use this gray for the lining of the blazer. So that's what my plans are for October, to sew this pattern. This will be the last thing that I sew right before Halloween. I think that would be amazing. All right, so now that we talked about my October sewing plans, the last thing that I want to do is show you some patterns that I picked up last month in September during the September sewing month. And I picked these patterns up from Something Delightful, which is the old Club B&B. If you don't know what that is, that's Butterick, McCalls, and Vogue patterns. And they also have quick sew patterns. So I picked up 5. Now, most of these patterns are fitting patterns, and I'll tell you why. So I'm gonna show you and then tell you why I picked them up. So the first pattern that I picked up, and I'll put all of these up on the screen as well. The first one that I picked up was Quick Sew 4208. So on this pattern, I did it because it is an easy jacket pattern. So it's a missus jacket and top pattern with many different variations that you could choose. The fabric that you can use is lightweight wovens and knits if you choose. Now I think for me, I would probably use just a regular crepe fabric or a georgette fabric for that. Something in prints like the lady right here on BC is wearing. I think that's the one that I would do. So B is the jacket, C is like a little tank top, like it's actually kind of like D is the tank top. So that's the reason why I picked it up, something quick and easy for this, but this is quick, so 4208. And the other ones are all fitting patterns. And the reason why is because I want to do some draping and some fitting with patterns. And this is also part of the Sew It Academy. I think it's course 21 and 22. It had Mimi G, she does a fitting, fitting with a fitting shell, right? So the patterns that she recommended in the Sew It Academy was McCalls 2718. So I picked that up, and I picked it up based off of my bust measurement. So the size that I picked up in this was a size 18 on this pattern. And then of course, I will do fitting according to that. I just wanted to kind of play with it and see what it's like to use a fitting shell. I have never used one, so this would be something new for me because I have always drafted patterns from my own measurements. The next one is Butterick 5627. This is also a fitting shell, but this is a Butterick one. I purchased all the ones that I could for the fitting shell to see which one I like best. But this is Butterick 5627. And the size that I purchased was a size 20, but I also purchased a 20W. I'm not sure why they sent me two of the same size, but hey, I think what I did was got one for the bust and then one for the waist. I think waist and hip measurement. I think that's what I did on that. I'm sorry, this is 5627 and 5628. So I did a size 20 and 5627, which is a fitting shell for the dress, and then 5628, which looks like the same pattern, kind of like this. I picked up the 20W. And the last fitting shell pattern that I picked up is a Vogue pattern. It's Vogue 1004. Now, all of the fitting shell patterns were $2, including this Vogue one. So I picked this up for $2 as well during that sale. Yes, during that sale. So I was very happy with picking up these for $2 because they're normally like $12. So I've been just waiting and waiting and waiting, and I was able to finally get those. So those were all the items that I picked up during that September Sewing Month sale last month for Something Delightful, which is the Old Club BMV, which is Butterick, McCalls, and Vogue. Now that's all that I have for you in this episode of What You Working On Wednesday. If you have not already, consider going ahead and subscribing. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and also comment below, and I'll catch you in the next video. So until next time, keep sewing.